You're complaining about your piglets being relatively small at certain ages, your piglets not eating well, your piglets falling sick easily, your piglets growing up to become sows that birth very small litters, and your piglets growing to become sows that do not have the desired characteristics that you want. Well, all these arise from the sow and the boar that you use to produce those piglets. So today I'm going to help you to select the best performing sows and boars so that you can produce the best and quality piglets on your farm, and then those piglets will grow to become very good sows and boars. So let's get right into it. So I'm mentioning best performing boars and sows. What are they? What are best performing boars and sows? Best performing boars and sows are pigs that have the desired characteristics that you want to see in your piglets. So whatever characteristics that you want your piglets to grow to have, you should see those characteristics in the sow and the boar that you are mating to produce those piglets. So let's take boars first. So the traits or characteristics you should be looking for in boars that you want to use for breeding include: 1. Boars that have a history of being disease resistant or being disease free. These are very good boars. This is more like doing a background check. Wherever you buy or wherever you get your male pigs from, you have to try to investigate, get records that contain the history of the pig that you are purchasing. Get to know if the pig has a history of any disease, or if the piglets that were born with that pig have any history of any disease. Because just look at it, this boar is what you are going to use to mate the sows on your farm. So if you make a mistake of picking a boar that comes from a family that battle with a certain disease, and maybe that pig didn't pick up that disease, be rest assured that some of the piglets that will be produced by that boar may carry that disease. So also in the records, check if there has been any occurrence of any disease on the farm and the boar was able to build resistance against that disease. That means that your boar is disease resistant and would be able to father very good piglets. Point 2, check to see if the boar is from a line of well-performing boars. This is because there is a very high probability that a boar that is from a line of good performing boars will also perform very well. So what are we looking for in the history of the boar to see if it is from a line of good performing boars? You have to look at the boar's father. If I say father, I mean you get it. So you have to look at the boar's father to see if it was able to service a large number of sows. If this is so, then it means that your boar will also likely be able to service a lot of sows, and you know, a boar servicing a lot of sows is a huge gain to the farmer. So point 3, you have to look at the boar's masculinity in terms of its appearance and action. The testicles of the boar should hang uniformly and should descend to maximize insertion, and the testicles must also be almost equal in size. The length, the height and the weight of the boar should also be proportional. Look at the boar. Is that how you want the piglets to look like? The boar should be muscular and appear strong in all areas. So point 4 is the age factor. Make sure that at the time at which you are selecting your boars, they are between 4 to 6 months, because that is the time at which you can see all the features well developed, and you can be able to tell very well if this pig has the desirable physical characteristics that you are looking out for. Also, at that age of 4 to 6 months, you'll be able to find if the boar has any defects or undesirable traits, and then you would not have to select it. Another factor is the health status. It is better to be safe than sorry. I know you would think that it will cost you money, but do let a veterinarian check on the particular boar that you are selecting, and let the veterinarian clear the boar of any hidden health problems. It might cost you to hire a veterinarian to check on the pigs, but that cost is much lower as compared to the kind of cost you incur if you use an unhealthy pig to cross your sows. So now we can say that we've been able to select a good boar. Now just imagine what will happen if you pair this good boar with a sow that is problematic. What is going to happen? You are still going to end up incurring cost. So we are also going to look at how to select best performing sows. So what can we term as a good sow? A good sow is one that can produce at least 2 liters per year and be able to produce enough milk to feed her piglets, and also has good mothering abilities. So now let's look at how to select a good sow. Number 1, reproductive history. The sow that you are selecting should be from a dam or a mother that has a history of producing large and healthy litters. If the mother of the sow has such a history, then it means that the chances of your sow performing equally well are very high. Number 2, your sow should be free from defects. So check the sow and to see if it has any defect. Check the teeth. Are the teeth shooting outward or inverted? Check the legs. Are the legs upright or splayed? Any defect that is on the sow can be transferred onto the piglet, and we don't want that to happen. A sow that is free from defects should be able to stand upright, and the top and front view should be straight and balanced. Point 3, avoid sows or gilts that have a small vulva. A small vulva is usually a sign of an underdeveloped reproductive tract, and if the reproductive tract is underdeveloped, such a sow would have difficulty during mating and will also have challenges during farrowing, and we do not want that. Also, point 4, that sow should have 6 good teeth on each side, and the other sections which have the teeth attached should be well spaced, so that if the sow has piglets, the piglets can feed easily. Also, point 5, look at the growth rate of the sow that you are selecting. So if you are selecting from piglets that were born by a same mother, look at all the piglets and select the one that has grown relatively stronger and much healthier than all the others. Also, the sow that you are selecting should have good mating behavior. During the time that it comes on heat, it should be willing and allow the boar to mount it. If it gives you any problems, know that the piglet it may produce may also have that behavioral pattern. And then last but not the least, also check the maternal abilities of the sow. So let's say you've used the sow to produce one and it didn't allow its piglets to feed. There's no need to mate such a sow again, because it might repeat the same thing and starve your piglet. So a sow that does not have good maternal abilities is not a good sow and should not be used in mating or breeding. So any questions or comments or contributions are welcome. I'll see you in my next video. It's bye for now.